Like we always do about this time, I am Cornbread Capone, and this is Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip hop music. And today, my special guest is a legend. I mean, he was in my tape deck and my brother's tape deck when we was coming up. Author of such classics such as Swangin' and Bangin', Sail in the South, or one of my personal favorites, Don't Touch My Car.
Hold
You
up,
know
man.
what I'm saying? Among other records. You know what I'm saying? The legendary ESG. How are you doing, brother?
I'm great, my brother. What it do? What it do? What it do? Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Know what I'm talking about? Let's
Man, I'm
get it.
happy to I'm happy to talk to you, man. I wanted to ask you what inspired you to make music.
Man, when I was a kid, like young kid, like 5, 6 years old, I used to see my mama had so many records. You know what I'm talking about? I'm from a small town called Bogalusa, Louisiana. That's we at the big toe of the map. So if you look at Louisiana, we right at the big toe. I'm 50 minutes from New Orleans, 65, it's like six, right at the hour from Baton Rouge. 10 minutes from Mississippi. I'm talking about 3 hours from Pensacola. So I'm in like a crazy spot. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, I didn't understand that that really was like kind of like a hub where I was at. You know what I'm saying? So it was a mix of all kind of different people and cultures. But anyway, but my mama was very influenced with music. You know what I'm saying? She used to have so many records. I'm talking about my mom had probably about 100 records, man. And so I used to just be playing records. And I had a cousin lived in New York. He used to send me these WBLS tapes. I had another cousin, Tori. Shout out Tori and Robin. They in Carson. You feel me? And when he would come down, he was older than me, like 5 years older than me. When he was like 15, 16, he come down to Louisiana with a long ass perm like DJ Quick, but he was already making beats. And my other cousin, Dr. Dre, he got his name from the real Dr. Dre back then. So he was DJing at the skate ring. So that was really like my whole little music scene right there for as even just trying to do anything with music. And I remember in the 6th grade, uh, everybody was in the restroom, man, and boys was rapping and freestyling. But they were saying shit that I had seen on TV, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, that ain't that, y'all saying somebody else shit, So I just started going off, and I remember just watching like the Run DMCs, the LL Cool J's, the Rakims, all these different artists as a kid coming up, and I wanted to be like. I want to be like them so bad. I want to be from New York. You feel me? That no bullshit. I wanted to can't go like LL. I had shout out my uncle Kirk. My mama wouldn't buy me no real expensive shoes, but my uncle Kirk he was always sending me like shell toe Adidas and all that. The Patrick Ewings and all that. So 7th grade, they had a talent show in my hometown, Bogalusa, and it's called Extravaganza. So it'd be on a Friday and a Saturday in April every year. So it'd be like 4,500 people attend this talent show. So they got everybody from singing to bands, dancing, doing everything. So I just went in there like pretty much like on a dare, and just walked in and told the lady, it was Miss Butler. I said I want to try out for the extravaganza. She's like, so what you gonna do? I said I'm a rap. She said, well, where your music? I'm like, I ain't got no music. So she said, well, hey, what you gonna do? I said, man, y'all just play something for me. So the drummers were like, play what? And I just remember in my head, I was in like Suck MCs or that Grover Washington, that doom, 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 doom. So they just started playing something. So I just started going. I just started going off the dome freestyling. So they went crazy. So every rehearsal, I'm saying something totally different because I don't really have no format to what I'm gonna do. So bam, man, when I come out there, they went bananas. 8th grade, the same thing. By the time I get to 9th grade, anybody that rap in the 60-mile radius of my hometown, like from Slidell, Covington, Hammond, Franklinton, Vonnedo, Angie, Mississippi, anybody that thought they could rap, they would come get me. And I would just dismantle them. You know what I'm saying? I had, I'm watching it. I'm watching Late night on the weekends, I'm watching all the hip hop shows. I used to walk to the record store. It was a record store called Fame in my hometown. I walk to the record store every weekend on Saturdays and get a single. You feel me? I couldn't afford the album, as a young kid, but I would pick the single based on the cover of the artwork of the record. You feel me? And they would be playing different ones, and then would let me hear them. So that's the first time I seen Public Enemy. I just walked in, I was like, man, who's these niggas with these guns and all this on the back of the cover? That's how I first heard it. Yes, the rhythm, the rebel. So I was just really influenced by hip hop, man. It was just something I wanted to do. I was great in sports, but I just, it was just my thing, man. So shit. I got me some turntables, 10th grade, by the 11th grade, I'm making my own little flows. And I remember my senior year, they had a rap artist, Tim Smooth from New Orleans. And
Mm-hmm.
he was a local star, underground star in the boot. And he had a concert in my hometown. So all the D boys was like, called him out on the stage, say, man, I bet you $1,000 this little nigga right here with these glasses on, can I rap you? So the nigga was like, he looking at me like, man, y'all done lost your mind, bet. Man, I dismantled. I'm talking about just total crowd down. I wasn't even supposed to be in the club. So they gave me $600. After that, it was just like, it was just something I just really wanted to do. And I used to look on the back of the records, and I would always see New York. You feel me? Or I always, I see L.A. sometimes. Then I start seeing like, the Luke Skywalker's a different name like that. But I would always see New York. So in my mind, I used to be thinking like, well, shit, if I'm gonna be what I want to be, I gotta make it to New York. And then I remember one time this homeboy named Terry, he had a drop top vet. He was riding through the hood, and he was playing Ghetto Boys. And I think I heard something like I was just bald head hoes. I'm like, man, what is that? You know what I'm saying? He like, man, that's the Ghetto Boys. They from H Town. I'm like, no shit. So that kind of resonated in me. Like, well, shit. I might, if I can make the H Town, I might can make it. Then I started hearing more groups from New Orleans. So I wound up going on a basketball visit to North Carolina to the Tar Heels, to go play ball. I even joined the Navy, bro. I'm talking about I went through the whole everything, the whole the orientation for the Navy in my senior year, but I wanted to play ball so bad. So one of my homies, one went to LSU and one went to USL. I had never been to Lafayette. So I went on a visit to LSU. Uh, Boom. I remember we even went to Shaq, the dorm room at the time, but and then I went to USL. And man, I had never seen that many bright girls in my life. You know what I'm talking about? It was like jumping. I'm talking about it was a club called Club Strawberries. Man, there's 1,000 people in the club. I'm like, man, I ain't never seen no shit like this. So I'm like, man, this where I'm coming. So I wound up going to USL. And when I went to USL, uh remember I used to be DJing at home on my own, just practicing. So the DJ for orientation for freshman year, my freshman year, he was fucking up. So I asked the club owner, I say, man, can I try? So I went in there, bam, he let me start mixing. They gave me a job. So every Wednesday I would get $80 DJing. And so shit, like I'm in the mix now. So I'm freestyling, getting my own freestyles in. Boom, UGK got a concert there. I never forget, they in the limo, and the promoter was like, "Hey man, you want to meet UGK?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." So I get in the car. That boy Pim was like, "So you want to be a rapper, little nigga?" You know what I'm saying? I remember he had a 380 sitting on his side. Bumpy had back then had a big ass ounce of Reggie. So they gave me some inspiring words. After that, I met Slim from Cash Money. I'm talking about uh, 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 Tupac had a show there. Tupac got his chain snatched at the same club, Club Strawberry. So I went to the DJ for homecoming. I think it was probably either Troy D or DJ Double D. I was like, say, man, let me get the mic. At that time, I'm just a young nigga. I'm not knowing, a DJ gonna look at you in the club this pack, be like, man, you done lost your goddamn mind. You ain't finna grab this mic. So all my homies were like, yo, man, get in the mic. Let him get, I'm telling you, he hard. Man, they gave me the mic, bro. After that, every time a big act came to town, they would let me open up for him. So I made like a I ain't know it was an EP at the time. I made like a 6 song, 7 song EP with my own songs. So when we went out for the in college, we went out for the Christmas break. Man, by the time I come back, about 50 niggas in every different dorm is playing my tape. You feel me? So my boy Nicky Schultz, shout out Nicky Schultz, Sean Solo. I mean Sean Solo, the producer of Swag Bang, he was in the dorm down from me. So they was like, hey man, this a dude down in the dorm, got a whole studio in his dorm. I'm like, no shit. So I go down there. That boy Solo was already on some Tribe Called Quest type shit, you know what I'm saying? He had his own style. They had backpacks and shit, you know what I'm saying? The Timberland boot shit I had never seen, you know. So I started going to his dorm and just making freestyles and just flows over the instrumentals. So we went to a real studio, and I never forget, man. It was on Johnson Street, right there where USL was at. USL is UL now, and this older white guy was like, "Hey, what y'all want to do?" And we was like, we want to do some rap music." So the man was like, "Man, I ain't never had no rap music here." He was like, "Shit, I did." He didn't say Zydeco. He was like, I did rock, I did blues." He didn't even know what we was talking about. So you had to pay $140 for a reel, like the same reels that it looked like when they doing movies in the old days. So if you mess up on your flow or doing the beat anything, you gotta pay another $140. So this shit was crazy to us at the time, but we really, we're just chasing our dreams, just trying some shit. So man, we went to the studio. After that, next thing you know, everywhere in that vicinity, man, from Lake Charles to Lafayette, to Baton Rouge to my hometown, my name is ringing. You know what I'm saying? So my partners, they were from Lake Charles. They was already around swingers. They got big bread in college. You know what I'm saying? Really, really getting money. So we started taking some trips to H Town, and that's when my homeboy Big E. I never forget he was banging the screw tape in the trap. You feel me? And I'm like, man, what is that? You're like, man, that's a screw tape. So I started hearing these screw tapes, man, and I'm loving them motherfuckers. So I'm like, damn, man, y'all got to take me over there one day. So when they take me over there, I eventually meet like the Body Boys, Fat Pat, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, this is a hub where people going over here to rap. I had never seen no shit like that. Man, Screw fell in love with a nigga. It was like just real genuine love. It was just a spot with different sets of different groups who just come over there. Even though we was already going to the studio, putting work in, this just was something different. And I never forget, like, I didn't know Screw was about to cry when he heard his name on Swinging the Bang. You feel me? Because, like, he hadn't chopped it up yet. I just said it in the flow just because that what was going on in the hood at the time. And, bruh, man, Capitol Beach Party that year, every car passed by me playing Swinging the Bang. So I'm getting the goosebumps. I'm like, man, I ain't never seen no shit like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about every car, back to back, swinging and banging. So I'm like, man, this shit it's going down. You feel me? So
I
we had
want to
this,
ask you. I gotta ask you this. What out of all of the albums you made, what has been the most fun you had making the album?
man. Uh, I really can't say the first album because you know I was a youngster that's really going through a lot of things in the streets at the time, and I didn't even really get to enjoy the success of the album. You feel me? So, like, soon as the album blew up, I violated my probation. You feel me? I had to go sit down for 2.5. So, they gave me 3 weeks to make Selling the South, before I turn myself in. Boom, I get out, I'm mad. Then it's, Return of the Living Dead, I'm on some mad at the world type shit. Then by the time I get to Shining and Grinding, I'm really coming out of that like mad rapper phase. So Sit on the Siege, I'm getting happy again. You feel what I'm saying? And then, I bossed up with Boss Hog Outlaws with me and Slim. That was a great feeling. I never forget the time when like just going home and playing the song like him and Hawk did. Even the song with Zero at the time. Like, I'm like, I never forget, like I shed tears. I feel like, look, man, I'm finna make it, really make it. It's some shit that I'm really trying to do, you know. But that was fun. But I ain't gonna lie, you know, the last, even though what I've been through, the last few years, man, I look at making music like totally different. Like some people will record a song just to record a song. You feel me? it's like a feeling that I gotta have to even record a song. Like I don't just do songs just that are fillers no more. You feel me? And I'm just so glad that I started out so young that we could still be relevant and still be making this type of music to the day. You feel me? So if you ask me, bro, man, I can't say which one was the funnest. You feel me? But recently making music, it got a lot funner. You know what I'm saying? No, even
Yeah.
though even though I feel like I'm the underdog, and I got so much to prove because I feel like in H time once you become a star in H time, it's like a ceiling. You feel me? Like if you a star in H-Town, you pretty much a star in the South in such a region where people don't even try to reach out to go even bigger than that. But shit, man, people don't really know my stories and all the shit that I got to tell, and I'm on a quest right now for something big and better. You feel me? I got bigger fish to fry right now, bro. I got some shit to really prove.
I feel that. I want to ask you this. You have done a lot of classic freestyles. Which one of them is a standout freestyle to you?
Man, like me with the freestyles, uh, I really can't say which one is a standout freestyle, but like I ain't gonna lie. Screw highs, of course you got some that'll stand out. Of course, I was incarcerated during the June 27 and all that, so I missed that run right there. But man was actually a freestyle. You feel me? A lot of people might not know that. You feel me? Like Southside Still Holding, that's a freestyle. You know what I'm saying? I really can't say which one is just a standout. You feel me? But I just
I can
know.
tell you. I can tell you one that was on the screw tape that you did that was for sure a standout because at that time when those great tapes was in the streets, you
Hmm.
couldn't go nowhere without hearing it. It's the one
Hmm.
where you rapped on "Bitches Ain't Shit."
Oh man.
I believe you had just got out,
Uh huh. Uh
and you
huh.
might have went there. Might have went to Screw House first.
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe,
Yeah.
but
Um.
you
that-
wrecked the shit out of that, and
yeah.
we kept playing it, and everybody was like, "Yo, who is that?" And they was like, "That's ESG," and everybody was like, "Word, play that,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
that, play that back again." Like that was,
That, which one? That was a bad motherfucker, bro. You feel me?
yeah, yeah. You
Like
got on that one.
yeah, yeah. I I just had something to prove. You feel me? It was so crazy when I was going there. Like people would pass the mic when they fall off the floor, right? Like the freestyle that people didn't hear. Like man, I would have never fell off the floor. You know what I'm saying? So, I wasn't just used to that, I never forget, I remember one day somebody was like, damn, Pastor Mike, man, it ain't no hogging, but man, it's some that I know that y'all haven't even heard though. But that's some great memories right there, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So it's going down. Them is some classics, but we got a lot more shit to do. Meaning that, like, I understand the changing of the game. Like when social media first came out, like SUC, just us in general, like we wasn't running to do no, we weren't like on Facebook, we weren't active on the Twitters and all this shit at that time because we was really involved in it was deeper than rap with us. So when people would come like from the Double XL, the sources and all these magazines, it'd be like, they want to interview with y'all. They want to talk y'all about drinking this and that. Most of us were like, man, we ain't talking to them people. You feel what I'm saying? So we really was behind on the media platform. If you think about it, once it first broke, if you look at Atlanta, of course, H Town and the South, we had our wave. But for as SUC, once we started getting really, really so popular independently, a lot of the artists that came right after us went mainstream. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, uh, and this the thing, bro. A lot of artists will come out after that, or come out after us years later, and be like trying to just totally change the game or change the style and do their own thing, and they would shit on the culture. You feel me? And what would be so funny to me, like they year two, they might be hot or whatever, but they would fade away. You feel me? A lot of them would become one hit wonders. That's because the world just didn't get to see what we was creating at the time. You feel me? And we really went to these hoods and these cities and shook hands with these fans. You feel me? It's a different connection than just having a fan that follows you on Instagram or something just because somebody else do. It's a difference. They really feel our music and resonate with our music. You feel me? So that's why we are still able to have the impact that we're having today. You feel me? And a nigga just blessed to that. And I just hate to see that a lot of the homies that started with us, didn't get to see the success, that we had and still having. You feel me? So, everybody know you gotta evolve with the time. And at that time, none of us really was getting paid for his publishing and, certain type of royalties back then. And once we started really learning the game, shit, man, like we some deadly weapons right now, bro. You feel what I'm saying? We really giving people what they want to hear, because you got to think about it. Now, a lot of the people who may have first heard us, like you say, when you was young growing up. So even at this time when you would go to a function or ride or go somewhere and want to listen to some music, like certain music that you might have sung when you was young at that age, you don't even feel right singing it right now, because it wasn't that real shit. The shit that we made is the shit that people really still want to hear. You feel me? And it's so crazy. I don't care who you are or how big of artist you come. And if you on the ticket with us or we on the ticket with you, when we perform these songs that we got, say, man, it's a whole nother feeling, it's a whole nother wave, you feel me? So it's just good that the hip hop guys are still blessing us to have the longevity that we have it right now, and still being able to reach back and help some of the new generation, and just blend in and help the ones that got overlooked at the time we was brand new in the game, you feel me?
Yeah, man, that impact is still being felt, man. I want to ask you about the new music. Have you released? I know you released some new music this year.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, talk to us about the new music, man.
Um, music to music to me is like therapy, though. You feel what I'm saying? Meaning, like, how can I put it? Like, it's really therapy, and you give the people what you're going through, and if they can relate to it and gravitate to it, it's a great feeling when you're doing that music and dropping that music. What I really mean by that is you have to be able to uh change with the times without going too far left. You feel me? Or just like when I hate when producers send beat packs and be like, this some Atlanta style, these mustard on the beat type beat, these some this type beats, these some this type of beat, these some Atlanta beats, whatever. Because a lot of times those young artists that are coming in the game, they get blinded by what they hear on the radio or see was so successful for a minute to the masses, and they start to how can I put it? They start to, really start fucking up their creativity trying to chase what they're hearing on the radio at that time or hearing what's hot at that time. You feel me? And the style or the format that they was creating and going with, they totally changed it, chasing radio or trying to be popular by what another artist is doing. You feel what I'm saying? So, I just feel like hey man, we some seasoned vets in the game, bro. That we on some LeBron shit right now. We on some Jordan with the right after when he came back shit right now. You feel me? And that's just some real talk, real shit.
Well, I gotta ask you this question because I ask everybody this question. Does ESG have a top five best rappers?
Man, wait a minute. Let me put this down, right? This bottle down. I ain't gonna, hey, hit the drink bottle. That boy back there on some he done mix him some. I call that some Tupac juice right there. Nine. Damn. My top five. I'm really go like this. In my beginning stages of beginning stages of my success part of my career, my top five probably would have been Pop, uh, Rakim, you know, Big when he came. Shit, man. Did I say Nas?
No, you ain't say no.
Nas, Scarface. You feel me? Like that probably would have been my top five. At that time. So as time evolved, I feel like people like the underrated top fives are the people like the 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 Jada Kisses type people. You know what I'm saying? That underground they never get that type of recognition. You feel me? But man, it just really depends on what you categorize with when it comes to music. Some people will look at numbers to judge on what they feel, is their list or their list. But if I had to do when I first came in, that would be probably my list at that time. You feel me? And of course myself. Wow. I'm on back then I was number 40 as one of the most underrated artists in the game. So like I just feel with my quality of work that I put in and what I continue to do and the different artists that I've reached out and worked with, you know, it's gonna go down. I'm gonna be in that category real soon. You feel me? Trust me.
Well, there's some people that got you on their list. I don't know. See, we don't make those lists don't come out for the South as often as they do for other places. I know it's a lot of publications and a lot of people who really shouldn't be talking about rap, but they make those lists, and those
Hmm.
lists seem to just fall out the sky. And
Right.
I don't really take them too serious because they're not made by people who are of this culture. Now,
Right.
when
Right.
they
Right.
are made by people of this culture, then I'll pay attention. Then I'll give it some weight or give it a conversation or
Hmm.
give my thoughts on it or whatever. But I wanted to ask you this because this is important. Somewhere there's an artist who might need some advice on what to do, how to do it. Because a lot of people, I know when I started making music, I just thought you go to the studio, make your music, put it out, and that's
Hmm.
simple as that. But it's not like that. What advice would you give up and coming artists,
Hmm.
what I'm saying, to help them navigate this music thing?
Man, I guess in the broken down quicker form, we sitting out here in the garage. The family was asleep, so that's why we out here in this heat out here bearing this heat like that. You got to feel that. But to me, what I would say is you have to first love the art. You feel me? Meaning, love what you're doing. You can't be doing it based on if you see somebody else that's making some money. You feel me? Like if you're doing it for that, if you start for that sole purpose, I don't think you will. You're looking at a successful run. Now you must treat your music, the same way you would treat like if it's a person that has a child. You feel me or something? You must really treat your music with the utmost respect. Meaning when presentation must be there. You feel me? Uh, 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 uh. Like some people feel like they just want to go rap. Uh, one time a month or something, or when they see somebody else rapping or something like that. So they're not gonna put their all into the craft. Now, even though you may not be eating and benefiting off the craft, so financially when you first start, you know, because some people who maybe just might do it for, just do it as a hobby. But if you really get into it and it becomes a job, it becomes a way of life, your value to your creativity would totally change. meaning you will pay attention to, you know, you'll pay attention to your product, and and the way that it's put out. A lot of people feel like just throw it out, throw it out, throw it out, throw it out there, run to Facebook just fast. To them, to a lot of people, I look at it, to them it's more about quantity over quality. You feel me? You must believe in yourself first and utmost. You must not think that just because you have a relationship um, with another artist that is either they could be on the same level you or more successful. You must not automatically think that the relationship you have with that artist, that your career is based on what they do for you. You know, you have to still take you have to still, own up to your own accountability with that. That's where a lot of artists get fooled at a lot of times. You feel me? And a lot of artists would think that overlooking like radio, DJs, club promotion, they'll think a lot of times just overlooking that they can still be successful. You know, there's nowhere in here you can do that. Now there are artists that may be successful that's not on the radio. That's because the way the format in the game has changed nowadays. You are able to reach a lot more people than you could without radio, now. But you still must uh, uh, respect the game and the craft and the artwork. You feel me? If you in the business and you know nothing about what goes on in the business, 9 times out of 10, there's no way you can be successful. Like you can't build a house if you don't know the market value of the other houses or what's going on. You feel me? You can't go start an 18 wheeler company if you don't know the intertwining inner workings of what it takes to make this vehicle run, and and what makes this vehicle be successful, whether that's financial or any other kind of way. You must still learn that and understand it with the music game. You feel me? And a lot of times artists will just get in the game and just put out music, and they would judge their success based on likes, comments, shit like that, views, opposed to the work that has to be put in with the when it comes to the game. You feel me? You can't let your friends and fans dictate everything that you do. Meaning a lot of times what I see independent artists be doing, they don't have the budget to push a record, right? Or a song that somebody with a budget has. So what they would do is they may have a good ass record that can be successful, but they might only work that record for 1 or 2 months or 3 months and jumping on to the next because of the fans telling them what they got next and watching what's around them. You must really work that project and really network, to the best of your ability. You feel me? You're gonna have to understand that everybody's not real in this world. Everybody's not real in this game. A lot of people are still trying to eat and do what they got to do. So that means you're gonna run into some people who may give you false promises and all this shit in this game, but you cannot let that dictate you know, the amount of work and effort that you put in this game. Just because 1 or 2 people may have been fake or promoter or DJ didn't give you the results you want, you cannot take that same attitude and apply it to every other DJ or every other person in the game. You cannot think that the success of someone else just because they success, you're gonna automatically get the same success just from having a feature with that artist, or just from being on the road with that artist, or doing stuff like that, having or having a relationship with that artist. Man, if you don't respect the game is not gonna respect you, and that's just how we go. If you look at anybody in this game, if you if you was say you was working at whatever it was, Amazon, the bank, or anything, and that was your first priority, and music was your second priority, or third or fourth, you're not going to get those results of being real successful because you must put your all in this game. You feel me? And it's just like trying out for a team. You know, if a coach see this player steady working, steady bumping around, and steady going hard, at it and punching at it, eventually, bam, success will come. You feel me? But you can't just I see so many people just give up so quick. You feel me? Or feel like they're entitled to what everybody else is getting. Immediately, soon as they put in any kind of work. You feel me?
And
Learn the
that's
business.
real.
Yeah, yeah.
That's real game, man. Before we get up out of here, is there anything that you would like to say? Anything that you would like to promote?
Man, make sure you go get that lost it all, got it back. Um, I'm almost, the streams are through the roof. Even though we're not pushing on radio, but the streams are through the roof. Uh, um, I got so many other projects that I'm working with different other artists. Um, from comedy man to TV. That's basically really where I'm at right there. You feel me? Uh, uh, be on the lookout for everything that's coming, like from the whole city in the whole southern region, not just H Town. I'm talking about from Austin, from the new wave that you're hearing from all the way from Dallas to Waco to Killeen to even there's a lot of new young artists coming out from the Lafayette and Opelousas area. You feel what I'm saying? Uh, there's a lot of great music out there, bro, and people just have to pay attention to it and give it a chance. And, that's basically what I'm on. Follow my YouTube ESG World. I'm through with all that old begging somebody or asking people to really like it's almost like hey listen to this, support this, listen to this. I'm just gonna put it in their face and let the quality speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what it is. ESG World, you can find everything. From tour dates to merch. Uh, 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 all the different other artists that I'm working with. Shout out Chino Low. We got a Jim in there song. 84's poking. Me and Hugo Boss got a mixtape that's so hard. Screwed Up Cartel. I'm talking about me and Yo Gutter. We got something, man. It's a lot of good work that you can see from me, bro. You know, and I'm just bossing up doing the things that I feel should be done in this game, and a lot of that has in the last couple of years with what I went through from the cancer to losing my leg is really just working on me. You feel me? And taking accountability into the situations that I see. So that's why I formed the umbrella. You either get on it or you get rained on, and that's really just to teach other artists. I'm not trying to disrupt the game or shake up the game. I'm just trying to teach them how to be bosses and everybody has somebody that's higher than them on the food chain. I'm just trying to teach them where you can be successful without letting titles, blind you in this game or hold you back in this game. Who gives a damn that you on another label or you got a CEO or boss or somebody like that? Man, do what you have to do and build your team and get to where you're going. And if everybody trying to do the same thing on your team, you would not be successful. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is not the one that has that creativity and that courage to get on stage or take that risk and go out of town 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row trying to make it and chase his dream. And that's it what it is. I'm on some old other shit right now, bro. You feel me? I'm tired of talking. I got some work to do. So, and that's what the business is.
Right. I appreciate you taking time to holler at me, man. I do want to tell you though, it was a moment. I think it was about 3 years ago. I was at this park in Hiram Clark,
Hmm.
and I was filming a video. The name of the video is called "Be All Right." And at the
Hmm.
same time, while I was filming this video in the park, Tricky C was had the music going. Cliche
Hmm.
was there. Harvey Love was there. Tall D was there.
Hmm.
It was all in the video. And I met you in the parking lot, shook your hand, took a picture, and that was also captured in that music video. And every time I look at that video, I smile because that music, that video represents a good time to me. I mean, it was a very positive song, didn't have
Mm-hmm.
any profanity in it. It was one of those records that you can play in front of any age group and they would go along with it because it was positive. And then that
Mm-hmm.
video, having you in that video, it was like, wow, like, look at, I grew up listening to this man, buying
Mm-hmm.
tapes,
Right,
and
right, right.
and now I took a picture with him, and it just so happened to be the cameraman caught that moment and put that in the video, and I
That's
thought
sweet.
that was dope. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to say I appreciate you for that. Um, I appreciate you for coming to the platform and speaking with me. And anytime you want to come speak again, man, the door is always open.
Right, right, right.
You know, so it's always gonna be love and respect from the entire Fold Nine because shit, you know, that music, your music was the soundtrack to a lot of our lives,
Right, right.
especially uh, when you talk about swinging and back, when you talk about really the first 10 years of your career, all that
Right,
music,
right.
and
Mm-hmm.
that was the soundtrack. That was the music that was played out here. I mean, man still has a stranglehold on the clubs today.
For real.
And man is 25 years old.
Right. That's crazy. That's
You know what
crazy.
I'm saying? So that's that,
Yeah.
but that says what you said it earlier. You said you didn't have longevity,
Mm-hmm.
and the evidence of that longevity still lives.
Right, right. For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's real, man. On behalf of the legendary ESG and the good people at One Man Records, I am
Mm-hmm.
Cornbread Capone. This is Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip hop music. And until next time, everybody, peace and love, because that's what the world need in a major way. Peace and love.
Wow. That's what the business is. It's going down. Well, I see some cars pulling up, so I'm just trying to pay attention. That would maybe turn my head right there. But